Well, hello. Today's topic will be no weapon. What is a weapon? A weapon is any device or instrument used to come against an opponent. And in Isaiah 54, God kind of gives us reassurance that there is no weapon that will come against us as his believers that will prosper. During this specific time, is following the Babylonian exile, where to look at the time frame that exile lasted, it was a long time. And God is promising the Israelites and reassuring them that time length of feeling God's wrath is nothing compared to how deep and wide and long God's love goes for us. So what he is doing is he's advising them, giving them a time of peace, a peace covenant, and saying that, because you are my followers, you will not experience any attacks that will come against you that should ever prosper. I love looking at the rest of Isaiah 54 leading up to verse 17, which is our topic today, because God takes a time at this moment and he puts himself and he correlates the relationship between him and his followers. And he calls the church his bride. He refers to it in the form of being the father or the husband to the church being his bride. And most men take full pride in being able to be protective of their bride. And that's the type of protection that God guarantees or promises the Israelites in verse 17 of Isaiah 54. And as we look at that, we talk about the weapons. Does it mean that because we're believers that we won't receive attacks? There won't be things that would be built to come against us? No. And I make the correlation when I'm thinking of this verse as watching soccer or hockey. I believe the goalies in both of those sports are the most challenged players on the field or on the ice, because there are several shots, numerous shots being taken upon them throughout the event of a match. Does every one of those shots go in? No. And there's numerous shots that are taken on those goalies. And when I see the score of 0, that means no shots were scored against that goalie. And that reminds me of God being our ultimate goalie in life. No matter how many shots are taken upon us, and they come in different forms, whether it's someone on your job who's coming up with false testimony against you, someone who is laying out attacks that or paving a way for you to lose, or in current situations, it sometimes seems like we're faced with attack after attack after attack. But here's what God tells us about those attacks. He doesn't tell us that you won't face those attacks. But what he says in Isaiah 54 and 17 as a part of his encouragement to the Israelites is, they shall not prosper. And let's read it. Isaiah 54:17, it says, no weapon that is fashioned, no weapon that is formed, no weapon that is put together against you shall succeed. And you shall refute every tongue that rises against you in judgment. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their vindication from me, declares the Lord. So not only does God tells us and reminds us in this passage that no weapon will come against us and will have success or prosper, nothing that is formed together to derail us or take us off course will prosper, but he tells us that we have an obligation. We have the right by his Spirit, because He is in control of those evil spirits, that we can refute anything that comes against us. Some translations would tell us that we condemn those things that are set out to come against us. Those weapons that are formed to take us off course by the power of God. And because we are part of his kingdom and we declare to be his children and we accept our rightful place, we can look at those challenges and refute it and say, no weapon that is formed against me, that is fashioned against me, shall ever prosper. So no matter what you experience, be sure to find ways to remind yourself that the shots will come, but we have the ultimate goalie in life who has never allowed a goal to be scored upon him. We're on the right team. So no matter what you experience, remember, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Have a good day.